What up, guys? This is Fitness Friday.
And you guys are watching a Q&A. What's going on, guys? Dustin Samara here.
Skylar Johnson.
And you guys are watching Fitness Fridays. Now, last week we didn't have an episode up because Skylar texted me the day before we were supposed to do our Fitness Fridays episode. He had to go to the doctors to see his back. He had a really, really bad lower back problem, so I totally understand it.
I don't understand it because I definitely bitched out, and we promised that we wouldn't miss an episode, so it's all my fault, and we bitched out.
I appreciate that, but guys, you don't understand. Like, lower back problems, I don't know if you guys had them before, but lower back problems are a big deal. So when he texted that to me, there's like a part of me that said, dude, we can't miss a Fitness Fridays episode, but at the same time, like, I know what it's like to have a lower back problem, so I didn't really get on it too hard for it.
But I still bitched out, and I should have came in my little walker, and we should have done Fitness Friday. So we did.
Let's get right into the questions, guys.
Okay, cool. I'm actually going to do the first one. We got a bunch of personal questions three of them each that we're going to do. We'll just rotate back and forth. And the first one was actually for you. It was, what was your fitness inspiration back then before you started and now?
I never really had a fitness inspiration because I never really was into fitness, but I guess, and this is probably going to answer another question that I favorited on Twitter, but the biggest thing that got me into fitness was this guy right here. I guess he would be my fitness inspiration because he's the person who got me started in the gym. And for like the first couple of months of going to the gym and working out, I always went back to that day when I went to the NB house and I was thinking about that. And that's really what pushed me for my first few months. But now my fitness inspiration is definitely The Rock. I look up to that guy, like all his posts on Instagram, I read all his tweets. Like that is like, I'm his #1 fanboy. Like I love The Rock. I want to be just like that guy.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that's weird that like be a fan of somebody or be a supporter of something, just like, but it's so cool to like say we're a fan of that person, you know what I mean? Because they're all about motivation. They're all about, like, I love all people like that. Like it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you spit like really good truth and knowledge in what you're saying, then that's what I love. So.
You see like a part of you that you want to be like in that person, and that's why you're a fan of that person. So when I look at The Rock, I think he's like really well spoken. He works really hard. He's like a movie star. Like he does everything that I dream of doing in my life. So to see him have success with that is just something that pushes me to go harder in my life too.
Great. My question was actually the same thing, and I really didn't have a fitness inspiration either. Like mine kind of was just, I wanted to change who I was at the time. When I got hurt and gained all that weight and put on like 86 pounds that I had lost, but it was kind of like, yo, what are you doing with your life? You know what I mean? So I just looked around at anything I could grab for motivation, and to be honest, how I was and what I got to was my motivation. I was like, something has to change. I threw my life away with what it was. So I didn't really have one at the time. But back then, fitness wasn't really as big, Like, no one was really doing what they're doing now. No FaZe fitness, no fitness videos in general, no gamers getting healthy. I
don't think there's any gamers out there that do fitness.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
There might be a couple. I'm sorry if there's a few, but I don't think there's that many popular gamers out there that do fitness.
Yeah,
I know of, at least.
And it's starting to catch on now. You can actually tell. So, did you want to do one of your questions or no? Yeah. And then we'll just rotate?
Yeah.
This is going to be more of a low-key Q&A. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. You're going to get to learn a lot about us and everything, I guess, that we do and where we come from.
NLG Stitch asked, what can I do to get bigger? I'm 14 years old. So, as all of you guys know, I didn't start working out until I was 17, and I don't really encourage anyone to lift heavy weights until they get to a point where they're like 16, 17, maybe 18 years old, because your body's still developing, your body's still growing. When you're 14 years old, you're still going through puberty. I think you're a freshman in high school at that time, so you still have a long way to go. And I remember when I was a sophomore on the football team, there wasn't really any dudes that lifted. There wasn't any like big guys. Everyone had really skinny arms or really skinny, or they were like out of shape or whatever. But growing up 14, 15 years old, you should really just focus on calisthenics. You should really just focus on like running and jogging and just eating healthy, because lifting weights at that time, I don't want to say it's counterproductive, but I don't know, it's just not for me. If you want to lift weights when you're 14 years old, I want to do legs, because there's a theory that if you train legs before you develop your entire growth spurt, that you're not going to grow that tall. It's not proven to be true, but I believe it because it just makes sense to me in my head. But if you want to lift weights and you're 14 years old, go for it. But I just want to do it. That's just my opinion on it.
My opinion on that is, okay, so if you're playing sports, you should lift weights, but it should be you should be lifting weights with what you need to be done. So for example, if you're playing a sport and you need to do your power cleans, your squats, or whatever, then that should be your focus, and you got to make sure that you're very controlled and restricted about it. I didn't personally lift weights, and I played football through high school as well until I was 17, 18. That should be like, this should be that moment where like you just develop your size, and then how you're gonna have some people in your high school that are just those man-child. There's just those kids in high school that
they get facial hair at 14 years old.
Yeah, they're just jacked out of their mind at like 16, 17, and then they kind of start to decline. Or if they're really on it, then they develop into the super freaks that you see now. So my personal opinion is, you could do it, but like he said, try to focus more. You can hit your abs hard. You can just get in good like toned conditional shape. That's really all that you should really focus on, in my opinion. So.
Jabify on Twitter asks, is it healthier to have a really cut tone body or a bulky, really muscular body?
Okay, so the answer to that is a personal preference question. Yet again, it goes down to what your goals are, what you're training for. Are you training for a sport? Are you training to power lift? There's so many different variables to that question, but I will say one thing. If you're trying to be aesthetic and you're trying to really like just look good for the beach and stuff, then obviously you want more of a lean physique. And he's actually, we were just talking about it, he got too big in his mind, too bulky. You know what I mean? So now he's cutting it down. And that's the progressive growth of bodybuilding. When I say bodybuilding, I don't mean, hey, I'm on a stage and I'm a giant freak or whatever you want to call it. I mean bodybuilding more in a sense of you're building your body. So you're building an essence of what you want to do. So if you want to have that lean body, then that's completely up to you. If you want to be a big monster and scare little kids at the supermarket, then that's what you want to do. You know, it all comes down to what you want and who you want to be. So to me personally, I'm trying to cut up, you know what I mean? And things are going well in my cut, even though I got hurt. Him, wouldn't you say that you kind of went huge and then you went small, not small, but like lean, and then that's the transition that you're doing, right? Like you're slowly building that muscle mass.
Listen, if you're at the beach and you're going to be taking your shirt off and you're a giant ass dude, people are going to think that you're out of shape or you're too big.
Yep.
And if you have a cut tone body, people are going to think that you're really healthy and you're really in shape. But in all honesty, that doesn't really depend on how healthy you are as a human being. If you're big, you could still be extremely healthy. You could be skinny and toned, but be unhealthy because you're eating McDonald's and KFC all the time. It's just that you're lucky that you have a really good metabolism and you can just burn through the calories really quick. So I don't think the word healthy serves this question justice, but it just really depends on the look you want. I don't think health has to do with if you're going to be really big or really toned and cut.
I agree, 100%.
Cog2424 asks, what's your favorite G Fuel flavor? Hashtag FaZe Censor. My favorite G Fuel flavor is green apple. Carson_nurse asks, Censor, do you drink alcohol? No, not really. You know, I'm not 21. I'm not legally allowed to drink, but you know, I've had my phase when I got out of high school, and you know, I went to all the graduation parties, and I'd go out with my friends every single night after I graduated high school during that summer period where, you know, we'd go out, we'd party, we'd have fun. But I grew out of that phase really, really quick. I just don't see it as a worthwhile thing. I saw the people I was around, and I felt like, you know, my future wasn't going to be as high as I wanted it to be if I was to be associating with those people. And I felt that I really needed to focus on what's important for me in my future, and that's you guys. That's, you know, giving back to you guys, getting my message more spread out, winning Call of Duty tournaments. That's what I really focus on, and I don't have too much time to go out and hang out with my friends. A lot of my friends from high school ask me all the time to hang out and, you know, go out with them and do things, and most of the time I'll say okay, but a lot of the times I'm super busy trying to make YouTube videos, making something that's new, making something that's good, watching other teams in Call of Duty scrim and practice just so I can know, you know, their strategies and everything. We got the Call of Duty championships coming up, so I'm definitely going to be taking a lot of notes. That's my main focus right now. So, you know, drinking alcohol isn't really a priority to me. I just don't see it as a thing to do. Obviously, it takes away from your stress sometimes, and it's okay to let loose at times, but for the most part, I think it's better to be responsible and focus on your future.
Yeah, and also from a health standpoint, that's going to kill your gains. Not only does it severely dehydrate your body, which don't get me wrong, like I drink on occasion as well, you know, like, but it severely dehydrates you. It can ruin your gains for like, it could take you 2 to 3 days to recover from that. Like in terms of if you're really on point and then all of a sudden you put alcohol in your body, and I'm not talking like a red wine, because that can be good for you. Half a glass of that, a full glass of that can be good for you. But in terms of like actually going out drinking, getting wasted, that can be horrible for you. Not only are you hungover the next day, you're extremely dehydrated, and it can help, or it can really hurt your gains in terms of like muscle size and muscle mass. And if you want to drink, go with gin and tonic, or go with vodka water, as gross as that is, or vodka seltzer. Outside of that, I wouldn't, because think about it, if you go vodka Red Bull, what are you putting in your body? You know what I mean? You're putting constant Red Bulls in your body. Vodka, anything really, vodka Sprite, same thing, same concept. Just because you're drinking vodka, you're still throwing in that soda over and over and over, so.
I still remember when I first graduated high school, I went to all those parties. I'd still work out every single day, but sometimes I would get really hungover. I'd go into the gym, and I just felt terrible working out. I felt, even if I worked out really hard in the gym and I came home, I would be less big than what I was before I started drinking, if that makes any sense at all. I felt drinking alcohol slowed me down a lot. And you know, after that summer, I just completely stopped cold turkey. I just didn't drink any alcohol at all. And you know, it makes you feel better about yourself. But on occasion, it's not bad.
And if you do drink, make sure the next day you get in the sauna. Get in the sauna or get somewhere hot. Go run outside if it's really hot outside, because you want to sweat all that out. Sweat all those toxins out, because that's going to just sit in your body. So you want to get all that out. All right,
Well,
next question is, Doug, what is your favorite thing to work out, and Skylar as well?
All right, my favorite body part to work out, honestly, it would have to be shoulders, but working out in general is just my favorite thing to do. I don't really care if I'm going to be working out legs, calves, biceps, triceps, doing pull-ups, whatever it is. I just like the feeling of getting stress out of my body, getting a good sweat, because if I get a good sweat in, that means that I'm releasing toxins out of my body. I just feel healthier when I'm doing something physical. So any physical exercise in general just makes me feel good about myself.
For me, it'd probably be chest day. I mean, I love getting a chest pump, and also when you do chest, you kind of get your tris involved. Even like your shoulder striations pop out. You know, like those are all cool things. When we actually do chest day on a montage, you guys will see it. Like I know his chest balloons up as well, so that's actually a fun day for us. So, all right, the last personal question that I got is, what is your guys' maxes on all the core lifts, such as bench, squat, and any type of press that you want to say? Also, what is your protein regimen?
Starting with me?
Yeah, let's do you.
Max bench, I want to say 3 plates, so 315.
That's good for
I'd
his
probably
size.
say 315.
That's awesome.
Max squat, maybe 4 plates, so what is that, like 395?
4 plates is 405.
That's 405? I'm pretty sure I can get 4 plates. I haven't really maxed out on the squat.
You're talking 4 plates on each side, right?
Yeah, I've done 3 plates and a quarter on each side, so I'm pretty sure I could get 4 if I was fresh. And then deadlift, I haven't done deadlift since I blew out my lower back about almost 2 years ago now, but if I was to max out on deadlift, I probably wouldn't go higher than 3 plates on it, to be honest.
And remember, like, I'm going to tell you numbers too, and his numbers are insane because of how lean he is. What is your current weight at?
183.
So 183, he's putting up 315 on the bench. Pound for pound, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, that's an awesome thing. So, and don't ever look at your max either, because honestly, when people say, what's your...
I never look at my max,
Never.
guys. I never think about it at all. I never try for it. I don't think about it.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm a big ass dude and I can push a lot of weight, but having a max doesn't matter unless you're either A, in a bar and you're really old and you're talking about, hey, what's your max bench? Or B, you're just trying to brag to people, which that's not cool either. Like, who cares what your max is? And honestly, being a max, that can discourage people. Like, it really doesn't matter what your max is. To answer the question, my max is currently at 485 on bench. I can get squat. I never go over 495 because that's just stupid. And if I have over 495 pounds on my back, then I'm doing something wrong with my life. And number 3, deadlift. I don't deadlift at all. Same reason for back problems. I will say shoulder press I'm pretty strong at. He's actually spotted me about 355 on shoulder press, and that's standing, or seated, I'm sorry. But outside of that, I mean, max just doesn't matter.
Back in high school, it mattered. I remember when I was a junior and a senior, all we talked about was the maxes. How many, reps can you do on 225? How many times can you rep out a plate? That was a cool thing back in high school.
And that's more interesting to me. Like for someone that's 183 pounds and I go, hey, how many times can you rep 225? And he tells me 12 to 15 or more, that's impressive. Like if he asks me how many times, that's what I focus on personally. Like I can get 225 over 30 times easy right now. In fact, we'll do it in our chest day. But like, that's what's impressive to me because that's your muscle endurance, you know what I mean? You don't need to be huge for that. You're just gonna have conditioned, lean muscle for that, and that's what's awesome.
Getting maxes isn't necessarily, something that I strive for, but if it motivates you to push yourself harder, then go for it. Working out in the gym, you wanna set goals, you wanna crush your goals. So if you have a max of like 225 pounds on the bench, and you know that's the most amount of weight you can set up, and you wanna try your max again in like a month and see if you can get higher than that, maybe like 245, then go for it. But honestly, I don't think about it too much. I just go to the gym to have fun and to feel good about myself.
Yeah, don't stress yourself out over it. Like if you can do 225 once and then a month later you can't do more than that, in my opinion, you're not lifting proper. But I think you should be able to. But if not, then it all comes down to how you're lifting. You know what I mean? If your split is 5 by 5, meaning you're doing 5 sets of 5 reps, you're gonna get stronger as long as you're lifting heavy. Compared to me, if you're doing 4 by 15, where you're doing 4 sets of 15 reps, that's where you're gonna cut up. So it's all about what you're lifting, but ultimately you're gonna get stronger. And the people that say, "Oh, I just want to get tone," that statement doesn't make sense because you're not just gonna get tone. You're gonna build muscle and you're gonna cut fat. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. I always hear girls say, "Oh, I really want to get toned up for the summer. I want to get toned up. I'm scared to lift heavy." To be honest, no girl is gonna go in the gym and lift heavy and get like 45s on each arm curling. You know what I mean? Like you're just gonna build muscle and burn fat. That's what's gonna happen. So you're not gonna tone up for the summer. You're just gonna gain your muscle mass and cut out your body fat.
I've had so many conversations with girls when they said, "Hey, what should I do to tone up? I just really want to get my whole body toned up." And I'll be like, "Hey, you need to lift some weights. Maybe do some dumbbell curls and do some like shoulder presses and stuff." And they say, "Hey, I don't want to get big."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Listen, you could do 1,000 reps of shoulder presses going like this, and your shoulders are not going to get jacked. It takes a long time to develop muscle. But if you want to get toned, you got to work out. You got to lift weights.
Yep.
You have to do a lot of cardio. You have to do a lot of dieting. It's a whole package."
And the coolest thing about it is you control your body. You're sculpting. Picture yourself as like an old school, what were those dudes on Renaissance days? And they used to carve a little sculptures. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're doing with your body. Yeah, that's what you're doing with your body every day. You know, every day you go into the gym, you're chipping away and you're marking yourself off until you get the perfect physique that you want. And that is the coolest, most motivating thing you'll ever find is that moment right there. Hey, I'm controlling how my body looks by what I'm putting in and what I'm outsourcing with my workouts. So.
What an inspirational answer.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching it. We're gonna do a speed round to end it. Speed round basically means in each Q&A video, we're gonna answer 5 to 10 questions really quick, both of us at the same time. First question is, what is your favorite type of shoe?
Nikes.
I'm gonna say Nike too. What Nike do you like?
Air Max.
I like either the Free Trainer or the Roches. Did I say that right?
The Roches. Roches.
Or Rouches.
Rouches.
You guys know. Anyway, next one. Favorite color?
Red.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with that tealish blue color. It's kind of weird. And then favorite protein?
What do you mean by protein?
Flavor.
Flavor?
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Chocolate too. And another thing, if you guys are looking for protein, Optimum Nutrition makes awesome protein, and I don't endorse them. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but they make good protein. So check them out. All right. Censor, do you train legs? Because people ask you, and I personally get irritated when people ask this, and I want to cover this because a lot of people talk shit. Go.
Yes. Yes, I train legs.
And I get irritated for him because we posted a picture on Twitter today of our shoes, and people had to talk about our calves. And they were like, Doug, you're training legs, whatever. And it's annoying. Let me tell you something about genetics real quick. He has better abs than me. Probably because I've eaten more cheeseburgers, but also the fact that he trains his abs harder than me.
That's the secret, guys. Do not eat cheeseburgers.
Yeah, do not eat bad food. But no, honestly, he has better abs than me because his body fat's lower. You know what I mean? And he trains them harder. I have better legs than him because same concept. But then again, genetics come into play. You're not gonna have jacked calves if he works. How hard do you work your legs out?
I work my legs out pretty hard, guys. I work out every single week. I do legs every single week, and I work them out to the point where I can't walk.
And he trains with 2 monsters in our gym also that, you know, like they're really strong personal trainers, and they don't have the biggest legs if you noticed. You know what I mean?
They got strong legs.
They're strong.
They can do 4 plates on each side of the squat, go all the way down to the ground.
Exactly. So I'm saying they're strong and it's lean muscle, and that goes back to what we talked about earlier. So you can still train your legs and eventually they're gonna grow. Something's gonna give. You just gotta keep going, don't get frustrated. And that goes for any part of your body, you know what I mean? Like my goal is by July 15th, I should have my abs popping out. So that should be where I'm at. And he should be the same thing, like his legs are gonna eventually blossom. Before you know it, he's gonna be making a video just about his legs.
Take it day by day. Don't get too discouraged. Everyone gets discouraged in the gym. I had periods in my life where I didn't want to go to the gym, where I didn't feel motivated. I've been working out for 3 years, guys. If I can do it, you can do it too. If you're just starting, just take it day by day, and I promise you the results are gonna come.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for me. I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, this has been a really, really long question and answer. If you guys stayed to the end, we really hope you enjoyed this type of a video. If you did, let us know in the comments down below. Let us know if you want to do more Q&As. We do this like every 3 or 4 weeks or so.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to do it every once in a while just to help you guys out because we currently don't have an email set up, so it'd be awesome to do it like this and answer your questions.
So I'm Doug Censor Martin.
I'm Skylar FoRePLayy Johnson.
And we're out, guys. Peace.